Good evening. There we go. Talking about that. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another earMUSIC full album pre-listening and live Q&A today with Stratovarius, tuning in from Finland. Welcome, boys.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So the first album in 7 years. I reckon everyone's really excited to have a full-on listening. 11 brand new tracks and 12 on the vinyl, which we'll be playing today. And yeah, so super excited to hear any words before we play the record.
Be careful.
Have fun.
Yes.
Rock on!
Nice.
Enjoy.
Okay. And with that, we'll pass on over to Floor, who will put on the record for you. Enjoy.
We are the that reaches no one, a frail memory, a teardrop on your skin. One shit for someone, a desperate cry that hardly can be heard. Still echoes inside a lost reverie you once thought you could reach, has now come undone. Slowly, gently, you can walk on water across the stream to the other side. Day by day, you're fighting your desire, and that's all that you hide. Don't drown in the sorrow when the walls come down. You're not alone. I see the white clouds rolling through the sky and wonder if like them I'll once be free. If I will find my wings and learn to fly. For every night the voice is calling me. In my dream there's a winding road that leads me through the haze to a rusty gate where I'll find my peace. I'm at ease. I have been searching for my fate.
And we're back. What a record. What a setting to play it in. I think everyone had great fun watching the boats and the running man.
I wanted to tell you about the boats. That's how we are shipping our albums, you know. So
one boat per record, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
100,000 boats a day. It's actually a question from Felix here in the chat saying, "Are you guys in Hamburg right now?"
No, we're all over the place. It's like Matthias is in Brazil, Jens is in Sweden, and we three are in Finland, but different locations.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you say come to Brazil, Matthias is already there, and we will
I'm here. I'm here.
Been there all along. Kimball 81 also asked if all of those containers are full of Strato's new album. Yeah,
I hope so.
5 million copies ready to go. Speaking about copies, albums, containers, Tiago asked how many formats of the album are going to be released.
I guess you guys know better. There's plenty. There's different vinyls.
Yeah,
different colors at least.
Spotify and then a bunch of different color vinyls and then CD.
Yes,
I think that's it. So 3 formats, like streaming, vinyl, and CD.
Exactly. And there's 4 vinyl formats. One is the black, one is the, let me quickly check, the recycled, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I need to have the recycled one.
Okay, it's available on pretty much everywhere online, Larry.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that I know a guy who can hook me up.
Maybe he's listening. We'll see.
We'll send you this like pre-order link.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they're really cool because every single one just looks unique because of the different recycled materials, which is pretty cool. There's blue Curacao, obviously the black one, and a violet transparent, which I always read as violent transparent. Not sure why, but just the way it goes. Question here, where I didn't catch the name. Who are your main influences?
I think the question was from Finland. Was it Taina L or something? Well, to me, of course, as a singer, it was probably Ronnie James Dio, his son, Ian Gillan. Don't know about the rest of the guys.
Everything and anything, all kinds of music, and of course
good music only.
So, bit eclectic then, Matthias. So anything that's any genre as long as it's good.
I would say, well, it's so subjective matter that I think there's no right answer to that.
I mean,
like good music.
I think it's more like who have you been listening to when you grew up, and like this type of thing.
Too many to say.
Alrighty, and then we've got a question by Majimia. Do you plan to go back to releasing an album every 2 years as you did before?
It's a good question. Maybe I go like, maybe we try, but like I would say like there's no any pressure. There's no pressure to do like every 2 years an album now. But let's see. We have some material already, but like we cannot guarantee anything yet.
Yeah, I think it's better to compose a brilliant album instead of releasing some semi-good stuff every second year.
That's true.
Agreed. This question popped up quite a few times. Will we ever hear a bass solo in future songs? Lowry's very skilled. I'm sure he would compose an amazing solo.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You can hear it now.
Locked and loaded.
Record it.
Let's record quickly.
No, maybe sometimes in the concert and in the future albums. Who knows? I'm always ready to play, but there needs to be a musical reason for it, not just in a concert you can just do a bass solo and it's fun, but for a record there might need to be like a musical very good reason for it.
I remember we tried to do this one bass solo. Was it from Nemesis record.
One Shall Fall, it was called, the song.
Yeah, and then we did this like one full night of bass solo recordings, but in the end, like, so Jens solo was the winner, or how was it? What was it? Jens solo there? In the end?
It was this like
something like that. Yeah.
Moog.
Yeah.
So I guess the real answer is when I learned good enough to play bass. So my bass solo is overridden by Jens.
I think it was a good solo. It was kind of like busy, the solo. If I remember it right, it was actually quite cool, but it was so good that it was like too good. It was like a little bit too like fantastically good.
Yeah.
And the stuff I played, I think
true.
it sucked more. Yeah, I actually, I think I remember this. It was also like something I did very quickly, and it kind of sucked. So I think that's, you have to suck more. That's why. Like,
Speaking about having to get good, you know, you've had 7 years, Lauri. Tongue in cheek. Now, there's a question here from Mario, which said, "Why did the album take so long? Good vibes." Up for grabs.
Well, lots of things. Of course, we were touring quite a lot for the last album, and then there was more festivals coming, and then at one point the record label was asking, like, could you come up with an album or at least an EP? So we did that, and that was, of course, that took. It was not done in a week, so that took like, I don't know how many months. Maybe Matthias remembers better, including composing. And then, of course, there's been lots of stuff going on. But now that all the people in the music industry, we were like unemployed, you know, so then we had some more time to do some, you know, compose more material. That's how I see it. And the time was right, you know. Jens, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah. I was just looking if there's like something on the camera.
Yeah, I saw there was something.
Oh, wait.
Question from Gerardo Trijo, which also kind of ties in with a battery of questions of different countries. Is there going to be a tour to support this album? Got requests from everywhere, from Mexico, Brazil, Portugal, Japan, European tour, US. What's the status there?
Well, Finnish tour is happening on November. In April, we're going to do the Latin American tour, and the others are still a mystery.
Yeah, I think the thing is, people booking agents and venues and stuff like that are kind of a little bit still worried that people will not buy tickets. So we have a little bit this wait and see approach. But I think 2023 we will do like a proper tour, and for sure we are coming to South America, Latin America. But the details should be on this, like stratovarius.com/tour. We just put the dates usually there. That's usually the most reliable list of tours. But yeah, we are planning Latin America like in what is it, April? Am I saying wrong now? Or is it April?
Yeah, April.
Okay.
April. Yeah.
So yeah, stratovarius.com/tour.
Sweet. Is that where it goes, where the tour news go first?
Yeah, that's like the best place to go.
Sweet. There's a question from Taina L that ties in with this. Where are your loudest fans?
Timo knows this one.
Well, it depends on the.
He's always
weekday.
asking.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always comparing. I think they are everywhere. I think as a Finn, I can tell that if it's a weekend in Finland and people are a little bit tipsy, then they are very loud. But of course, Latin America, like they're very loud down there.
Iris I got is asking, what are some of the funniest moments for you all whilst performing or recording? Do you have any funny stories to tell?
It's always related to Jens very often when it comes to fun on tour. So maybe Jens can give some.
I don't know if we have any recent funny stories, but it's like.
Is there like an all-time classic that you kind of always come back to?
It's like usually what you remember are like the mishaps, like a speaker catching on fire or something like that, like which was actually kind of traumatic. But I don't know. I think we are getting old. There's not so many super funny things happening on stage. We are just kind of doing our jobs and not.
One thing I can say that now, after being 2 years without playing shows because of you know what, like basically all of the shows we did in the summer were like super fun, and especially like Wacken was super fun, Prog Power was super fun. So I think like not fun like exploding toilets, but overall I think we've had one of the most fun weekends just going to gigs like this summer. So that has been fun.
Yeah, that's probably something that was sorely missed during COVID, right? Performing
Yeah.
live, getting out there, playing for the people. Question set and concert related from Salieri. Do you have any? Do you have on mind change a little bit the set list for concerts? I mean, adding old songs you might not have played live. That's what he wrote.
Of course, this is gonna be like promoting Survive album this tour, so there's gonna be lots of songs that we haven't played ever before, but we are also probably changing the set list a little bit. But you will have to come to see the show, and then you know.
Cool. Question from Douglas Brickler. What sort of hobbies or activities do you guys like to do outside of music that contributes to your musicality? I know Matthias loves to cook.
Well, I'm not a professional, but yeah, I like to do food, but my life is more or less just like being a studio, so I don't have any other hobbies. So I just do music and then I go home and cook for my family. That's it.
Well, Douglas also wrote he'd love to see you open a Stratovarius themed restaurant. Maybe that's an option.
I think there is one Stratovarius called restaurant. Was it somewhere in Mediterranean?
I think in Cyprus.
Cyprus, yeah. We definitely need to go there.
Exactly.
Not related to the band, but
No, but
The Survive menu.
we demand.
A World on Fire could be a really big, hot burger, whatever.
There should be like this very strong shot called Before the Fall, of course.
Yeah.
Or Voice of Thunder.
Yeah. What about the other band members? Any particular hobbies or activities?
Rolf,
great.
please tell us.
Yeah, for me, it's fly fishing. It's like obsession, really. But it contributes nicely to music. And it's a great way to kind of center yourself after playing shows and everything. So yeah, fly fishing. And also working out, which is also kind of important for my line of work, just staying in shape and being able to play those bass drums very fast and loud every night.
What about Lowry?
I just do music all the time. I play board games sometimes. I have a beer the odd night.
And Jens?
I mean, I've had the same hobbies that I've had for the last 20 years to varying degree. I just read books and sometimes watch movies, but that's about it. I don't know if you can call that hobbies. Of course, this music stuff, it's like a little bit, it doesn't take so much time nowadays as it used to do, especially now this last 2 years. So I've just been enjoying having some time off, actually. It's been really nice. Thank you, whoever ate that bat. It's a beautiful thing. Like, I've been doing this like 30 or 40 years, being on the road, like sitting on the fucking bus for 40 years. So it was actually quite nicely timed. We didn't have to cancel so many gigs because of this COVID thing. So
true. So another question by him that kind of ties in with this as well. Like, if you hadn't become musicians, what do you think you'd all be doing right now professionally? Rolf would be a fisherman, or?
Yeah, maybe like a fly fishing guide or something like that. Don't know yet, really.
It sounds so wholesome. It's fantastic stuff. I guess I probably would be either I would be working stock market, making money, or I would be this engineer, because that's what I was planning to do before this music industry sucked me in. I had like a spot at university for like solid state physics degree, and probably I would be doing something boring like that, making like microwave transmitters for mobile phone operator or something like that, or
Matthias? Studio
Well,
work.
I don't know. Well, that's music related. So,
That's
well, I don't know. Maybe something related with computer, coding, plugins, stuff like that.
That's still music related though. So
Well, it can be something else. Maybe something like kitchen related plugins.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
Fuck, like who knows?
Cooking website, like.
Yeah.
Timur?
What would it be? I was doing some like local radio stuff, like, well, not a journalist, but like a host. So it might be something like that. But then at the time I started studying music, so then I gave up that dream to become a singer. So, but that could be something.
And Larry?
I would probably be insane of not being able to do music and would live in a forest. Madman.
Nice. Right, then we have a question by Majimil. I feel you could compose. This is didn't quite understand this one. I feel like you could compose very good progressive songs like Elysium, but adding synthesizers like a Nemesis. Have you ever thought about it? Now I've read it properly.
It's a good question. Elysium was like one-off kind of a composition, but and Nemesis was, well, what comes to synthesizers, like we worked on those with Jens a lot, but maybe in the future, I mean, we don't know because it's all about the songs what we are doing. It's not about that we just decide to do, let's do a Elysium with synthesizers, it's, well, there is a bunch already in this Elysium, like
there was this like, if you talk about this like Halcyon days, that was quite involved, like almost in an EDM way, but of course it's not EDM because we don't know this shit. But it's, every album is like an experiment to me. It's like, where does it go? I don't really know, but to me it's more about the songs, and I think we actually got the songs right this time very well. And I don't know if people will like the other stuff, but let's see. Judging from this reaction in this chat, people seem to like the album, so maybe it's gonna do well. I don't know.
I agreed. Had the same feeling too. Two questions that kind of tie in that I quite like. Majimia, again, could you tell us who composed each song on the new album? And Hollow Oblivion wrote, "I wonder the stories behind every track of this album, and I like how they are formed because the outcome is really, really something." So, is that something you can talk about?
Too many songs. Well, yeah, we can start. Wait a second. I need to take my.
Is it something? Do you like? Do you write them together or separately, or is it?
Most of them are composed together. It was like me, Timo, and Jens. We got together like a bunch of times. We can start from the top, like Survive. It's mostly my writing, and then Demand. The same. We did with Timo did something there as well. Then is it Broken, the third? Broken is actually one of the first songs what I did. I think I started to compose that one around like 2016 or something. So that's like one of the oldest tracks. Then Firefly, we composed that one like as a last one for this record. That was also composed like in this one of the group sessions. And then comes, what is after Firefly? We Are Not Alone. We Are Not Alone is composed by Lauri. We did some arranging with Timo, me, and Jani, if I remember right. And after that comes, is it Frozen in Time? No, I'm sorry, I don't have the album songs here. But anyway, yeah, so Frozen in Time is Timo, me, I think Jens did there something as well. And what comes after that? Then we have World on Fire. World on Fire was that's actually written by me and my friend Pancho, Francisco Cresp. We did this couple of sessions in the past, like 2017 or something. So that's like song from there. Then Heroes is also from me. Then comes Before the Fall. It's written by me and Timo. And then Voice of Thunder also, like one of the group session composing tracks, me, Timo, and Jens. So, but this Voice of Thunder also contains one of the oldest themes, like I think like I did immediately after Eternal was released. So there's some themes and melodies like from like 2015, 2017 or something. So there's material from all these years. So this record wasn't done like within like 2 years or 1 year. It was actually composed like during all this 7 years of silence. So that's more or less.
All right.
Did I miss something? No.
I think you got them all. There's a question from Marta. Is there a live orchestra on the album?
There's no live orchestra, but there is a big choir. We did that in January at Finvox Studio. Was it this chamber choir, Värinä? Was it Värinä? Lauri, you remember? Yeah. So that was like plus 30 people. Then we did also another male choir session. It was in the end of 2021 at Sonic Pump Studios. So there's like 2 separated choirs on this record. Orchestra is done by samples by Perttu Vänskä.
Sweet. I want to throw some funny off-topic questions in because I just had to hold back a laugh. MJS wrote, what is the best temperature for a sauna?
To me, it's probably, it should not be too hot, but it should be damn humid. So my sauna is probably between, I think, close to 80, but 90 is too much because then it has punishment. But if you like punishment, then it's all right. But if you want to sweat, then it should be too hot.
Yeah, the humidity is a large factor in it, but around 80 should be fine. But
yeah,
but the key, you should not just look at the temperature. You should also consider the humidity.
So 80 is the magic number.
Around it, yeah.
Let's go for that one. Another off-topic funny one from Rebecca Nagy. Would the band rather collectively fight 20 duck-sized horses or a single horse-sized duck?
20 duck-sized horses. You can pick them on, you can take one at a time, like divide and conquer.
Yeah, the horse-sized duck just sounds crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if it's just one person, of course, you could take this duck-sized horses, you'd break the neck of one, and then you toss that one aside, and then you do another one. That's how I would do it. One duck-sized horse at a time. Like,
maybe there's like a Stratovarius game in the future where you can choose either path and then which fighter to choose, and we'll do it just like you said, the actions.
And actually, I think we should talk with the duck forces first. I think there could be a common ground reached, and we could listen to some music, have some drinks, and
no. We don't negotiate with duck-sized horses. We don't negotiate.
Another one from Majimi here. It's a kind of a silly question, but what is your favorite track from the new album and why? Also, same question by Taina. Does everybody have a favorite track?
I think everybody has their own favorites. My favorite is actually Before the Fall, because it's such an aggressive and trashy song.
Lauri?
I like World on Fire. It's great song to play live, and I think it's pretty current. because of all of the shit that's going down. And yeah, that's my favorite.
Timo?
I would probably pick Voice of Thunder for some reasons. I also like this Before the Fall, but I think if I had to pick Voice of Thunder.
Rolf?
I'm also going to go with Before the Fall because it's very aggressive and it has a certain kind of edge to it. So that's my favorite.
Nice. Jens?
I mean, Before the Fall is a good song, and I would normally pick that one, but I'm going to pick Broken because I think it's like what Matthias said before when we all got together to write. This is like the first song where it showed to me this potential of hashing things out this way and testing things with Timo immediately, and you could just tell immediately that this was going to be nice. And of course, all the other songs followed that song in time-wise. So in my mind, it sticks out for that reason. It's like, I would say, but I mean, they're all good songs. It's hard to pick one, which is a good thing.
We saw this in chat too, right? Because every time a new song came on, it was like, this is my favorite.
Exactly.
Yeah. Question from Max Kimmich for Timo. I don't notice your voice has suffered any strains of aging. Do you feel more pressed to focus on the warm-up before recording than say 10 years ago?
Well, I think the biggest difference to me is like what Jens already pointed out, that this time we were composing and testing the vocal melodies at the same time, because in the past it was always like somebody composed a song and then the melodies were there, and then you got the lyrics and then try to sing them. And sometimes we did, of course, do some arranging, but this time we were actually composing at the same time, and I was able to test even some lyrics. So it was much more easier task for me to record the actual vocals because I felt comfortable with the melodies.
Cool. Fred Palace asks a question for Jens. What's your current setup for composing and live? Meaning programs you're using, controllers, synths, anything in particular?
Well, I use this Cubase as a audio workstation for, I think, maybe like 30 years now. I've used it since its Atari days. And then, I mean, just whatever plugins. I think what's kind of interesting on this album, I didn't use this Roland 1080, which I've been using also for like 20 or 30 years, for any of the sounds except for solos. So I just used like plugins for the rest of the stuff, which made it kind of simpler, a lot of times. If you change one note, you don't have to render out the whole track through this like analog gear. You can just like, change the one note and then render it out again. But other than that, it's just like whatever like VST eyes you could imagine, like digital synths you could imagine, like
Cool.
This Uhe stuff. There's a German company called Uhe. I use a lot of this Uhe Zebra. What else? Well, whatever I can get my hands on, basically. Like.
And live is the same, or do you kind of go through a?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sweet.
I have like live is like slightly different animal because I still don't fully trust this computer setup for live. So I have this kind of like backup running that you could switch over, like a failover kind of thing, which has become useful a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's this type of music. I mean, you can't get too elaborate with the sounds somehow, like, because it's so guitar dominated. I mean, as a premise, the guitar is kind of like very, very prominent. So any like super hi-fi sounds that you would be able to put with a soft synth, you would just hear the treble, or you would hear some other kind of strange thing. You kind of have to think of it somehow as a package that fits together with the guitar. But it's not. It's like, live is of course also a little bit different than the album, because live, I think it's acceptable that you are doing a little bit different things than you are doing on the album, and you don't have so much time in just fiddling with things. Basically, you're just playing the songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like slightly different animal, but
All right.
it's very much soft synths nowadays.
A question from Joe Plays Drums. This is to everyone as well, and an interesting question actually also for a record label. Do you guys prefer to listen to vinyl, CD, digital? What's your preferred medium for listening to music? Or does it depend? Let's go with Lauri.
Ask me the question again.
Yes. Do you prefer vinyl, CD, or digital for listening to music?
I listen mostly digital, just out of because I listen so much, and yeah, that's it.
I mean, technically, CD is also digital, but I would say also I listen digital from files. It's not so often that I have occasion to put like a CD player on, but it does happen very rarely. And vinyl to me, I think it's just like a mess. I'm not this like traditionalist vinyl person. I grew up with vinyl and I grew to hate vinyl, and to me it's just like it's basically a format that kind of sucks. You know, the things get scratched and you know, like you have this like rumble and hiss and crackles and stuff like
You're
that.
not
So
really doing a good job selling the vinyl now.
I know, but
Actually, I really love the vinyl. The thing is, it might get scratched, so I usually buy like 4 or 5 copies.
yeah, I know, I
That's
understand
what I
that,
do
but
too.
that wasn't the question in a way though. But it just, I guess some people like vinyl, and of course I totally respect that, and you should completely like vinyl. But for me, I'm
Do you guys remember when we tapes, cassette tapes, and you just after you've listened to that tape a million times, you knew how long the breaks were, you knew where the tape crackled, and you know, do you remember that?
Yeah.
I used to love that, and that's kind of how your vinyl gets after a while. You just know how it sounds, right? I think that's like I dig it for sure. I think Rolf takes his vinyl player fly fishing too. Because it's so convenient.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind vinyl. I have even done this kind of things myself for old albums that I used to listen to on vinyl, and I've taken the vinyl and copied it to a WAV file, like a PCM file, just to listen to, because I felt maybe that the new mastering was like somehow like weird. You know, some of the Frank Zappa stuff is notorious for this shit. He remastered all this stuff for CD, and it sounded like garbage. So I actually took some old Zappa LPs and made them into PCM files to listen to, but because the mastering was better. But still, then it's this PCM file. I mean, it's still you can play it anywhere and you can copy it and you can do things with it that you can't do with the vinyl. You can have it on a plane. You can take it fly fishing very easily. This type of thing. So.
Matthias, what do you get up to with your vinyl player?
I used to actually collect vinyls. I still have like maybe 1,500 vinyls, but I haven't been listening to those like, I don't know, 7, 8 years at least. I don't have even like working vinyl player nowadays. And same goes with CDs. I used to have like big collection of CDs, but I don't have a working CD player. I think the only working CD player is PlayStation, what I have on home, but like, no, just no. Basically my musical dose is through like streaming platforms like Spotify or Tidal or something like that. But like when I'm working at the studio, I actually like prefer the original WAV files, like hi-fi mastering stuff. So you don't get this like encoding MP3 or AAC
compression
encoding there. Yeah.
Timo, what about you?
Well, of course, it's streaming. That's my main source. But I actually started buying few vinyls a couple of years ago, and I'm planning to buy a vinyl player, but I still don't have it. I used to have, of course, but nowadays I don't have it. But now that I saw these brilliant Stratovarius vinyls, they actually look good. I opened one because I got one. So then I'm planning to buy a vinyl player, but I'm still, thinking what kind of and when to buy it and so on. But that's my plan.
You could ask our guy who turns the vinyls with one hand.
Yeah, but that's actually, of course, kind of funny in a way. It's kind of funny that I'm the one that has a functioning and hooked up like vinyl player and CD player, and nobody else has them, and I'm the one that hates vinyl. So it's like, but I have the ability to actually put on a vinyl whenever I want,
and to rip it,
transcode it or whatever.
Yeah, Rolf, how about you?
Well, I used to collect lots of CDs back in the days, but I would say like last 10 years, it's been mostly like streaming and digital music for me.
Cool. Okay, so I think we've got time for another question or two. You guys okay with that?
Sure.
Yeah. Let me pick one out. I've got a whole battery of tons of questions. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in and commenting and asking questions. We obviously won't be able to get to all of the questions, but one of the questions that I like on here, which is a bit off topic again, which album from another artist would you wish you would have recorded? I think that's quite an interesting question for musicians. Any from your influences or otherwise? Maybe for Rolf.
That's a tough one, but I would say like one of the most heaviest listened album I have been listening to is probably something from Frank Zappa. So maybe something like Live in New York would have been a blast, having live experience and recording of that. So yeah, I would go with that.
Matthias?
Green Theater, Metropolis part 2, sorry.
Lauri?
Yeah.
I'm writing the kind of music I want, so that's the music which I haven't written yet.
Timo?
One of my favorite albums is Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime, so I think that's fantastic. That would have been, of course, that's it. I think, well, I'm hoping that our Survive album is on the same level, but it's hard to say, but it's like, that's one of my old-time favorites.
And Jens?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit with Lauri's approach here in a way, because I think one of the weirdest albums I've done that I would have liked to play on, that I actually did play on also, was this like Stratovarius Visions in Europe, where we just recorded 2 gigs, was like one in Italy and one in Greece, and it's basically just recorded how it was. And I think it still turned out to be a terrific album that kind of captured what was going on in Europe at that time with this metal wave coming back. So I'm going to pick that one. And I actually did end up playing on it. So it's like,
We cheated.
exactly.
Okay.
That's the only way to win, you know.
I'll pick the final question here from Gerardo Trijo. It's kind of, is it a question? I'd like to mention that I love that you keep the tradition of composing an epic song of more than 7 minutes on every album. It's not a question, but is there like a tradition behind that? Is it a must have? Maybe for Lau?
Not really.
Or
Not
Matthias?
really. I would say, yeah, I would say no. These songs, what we are doing, like they are what they are. We are not thinking too much that we are doing now like artistic or long song or something. Like if you start to compose a song, like of course you have something in your mind, but like you never know in the end like how it's gonna be. So I would say like that would be like just forcing yourself into some kind of format.
Cool. Okay, so I guess we'll wrap it up here. From my on my behalf, thank you for a cracking album in the name of earMUSIC. All the fans, I'm pretty sure. Great pre-listening session. A very fun Q&A.
I have a question that people might be interested, that they are listening live now. I guess you will leave this video up so people can actually hear the album, and you will leave this Q&A also up, right? So people can keep, they can point their friends to this link. You know, like if you want to see what happened, what you missed because they were sleeping or whatever, I guess you'll leave it up or something.
Definitely. So we'll probably there'll probably be a bit of a delay. I'm not sure if it's minutes or hours until we can post it or publish it on YouTube, but it'll definitely be on here, and you can view it as many times as you like. Listen to the record as many times as you like, and obviously enjoy if you've not managed to make the live stream, for sure.
Perfect.
Any final things you'd like to say before we leave?
No.
Well, of course, we hope that you guys like the album and come to see us playing live when we come over there, wherever you are. And thanks for watching this. So good job.
Well, thank you all for coming, and yeah, it's been a great one. Everyone, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Survive.